Blueface and Chrisean's new show, Crazy in Love, is literally putting the crazy in love. And we're going to get down to it and why I think so. Welcome back to Damien After Dark. Come on in here. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button right below this video. Also, make sure you like the video because that's going to share it out throughout the YouTube community where everybody can find us. And last but not least, join the conversation. I love to hear what you guys have to say, your thoughts, opinions, viewpoints. Comment below, let me know. Type your little fingers away. Let me know what you got to say, okay? All right, so this is the premiere of Crazy in Love, Blueface and Chrisean's new show, Season 1, Episode 1. I've got some thoughts, but if I have to be honest with you guys, or y'all, I should say, I don't know why I said you guys. That's such a northerner thing to say. If I had to be honest with y'all, if I was going to rate this premiere, I would give it a 4 out of 10. I know that's a little bit harsh, but for a premiere episode, it wasn't giving what was supposed to be given. Do you know what I'm saying? Do y'all feel that way? Again, I want to hear from y'all, so make sure, you know, if you feel different from how I feel or you agree with what I'm saying, please let me know so I feel like I'm not alone here. This show, I feel like, has so much potential because Blueface and Chrisean are in the media so much. You can't get on your phone without seeing them on the Shade Room or seeing them on the Neighborhood Talk or whatever blogs. They're always in the news. So it was a little confusing for me watching this because I'm like, really? This is the best y'all had? Like, this is what y'all gave us for the premiere? It was a lot of filler. Y'all know I talk about that a lot here on the reviews. A lot of filler, which is when these shows put stuff in an episode just to fill the episode up. Like, it's almost like they didn't have content to give us for the first episode, which I know they do. We've seen in the trailer, there's plenty of content that they have. But why did you give us in the very first episode just a bunch of fluff and a bunch of bullshit? Let's get into on what that fluff and bullshit is. But first and foremost, the show opens with Blueface and Chrisean. They're in a Sprinter van. They're in New York City, headed to Fashion Week. They're playing Never Have I Ever. Which, when I first saw that, I instantly thought, okay, if you're playing Never Have I Ever, this is not going to go. This is not going to go over well. Usually you play this with a group of friends and you're drinking. Couples usually don't play it together. And especially couples who are known to be in volatile, toxic, physical relationships don't play Never Have I Ever. But Blueface says, never have I ever cheated in my entire life. Girl, bye. Why are you gonna sit up here and tell that bold-faced lie with your big self, Blueface? Trying to act like you never cheated a day in your life. You are a rapper. Okay? You have pussy thrown your way every day, left, right, top to bottom, corner to corner. You mean to tell me you ain't never cheated before? Like, what? Rock says that she has, and she's had sex with an ex before. And I was like, well, damn. I wasn't expecting her to come up with it, but that's the thing. If it's one thing about Rock, we know she's going to be honest and real. We may not like her. She may get on our nerves sometimes, but she ain't going to lie about the situation. I think Blueface lied, but I think Chrisean was telling the truth. Now, do y'all remember on Baddies South when Rock got arrested in New Orleans? We talked about it here, and she said that she took a marijuana charge, a weed charge for somebody in Oklahoma, and the feds were coming for her because she had a warrant in Oklahoma. Well, we found out on this premiere episode that it wasn't Oklahoma, that it was Baltimore, which I thought was interesting. You know, like, you could easily let that go through one ear and out the other, but I instantly noted it. I was like, wait a minute, Baltimore? I thought she took a weed charge for somebody in Oklahoma. Did y'all notice that? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe on Baddies South she did say Baltimore, but I'm about 99.9% sure they said Oklahoma. And I still want the tea on who she took a weed charge for and why. Like, unless it's like, if it would have been him, I can see, because you be crazy in love. Sometimes you do those kind of things for people that's dicking you down real good. But if you took it for a friend, and we talked about this here, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I would take a weed charge on a few instances if, like, the person that was going to get the weed charge was about to do time in prison if they were caught, or I don't, and still, then I'd have to think about it. But I would do it for somebody that I was, like, madly in love with, as long as I had no prior, as long as my record was clean and it wasn't going to put me in prison or something. I would take it for somebody that I was crazy in love with, or I would take the weed charge for like a family member that I held dear to my heart, that I knew was going to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Now Blue tells her, "You've been to jail 10 fucking times. You're a criminal." Okay, just keep it. Tell her how you feel, straight up. Which we do know that Rock does get in quite a bit of trouble, but that's just her. She's not going to change. Rock is all over the place. She's a wild child. She's a true bad girl, I guess you would call her, a true baddie, because she stays in trouble, and she's bad as hell, always doing some wild and crazy shit. Now look, y'all, Blueface, he's a handsome man. I think so. I really do. I think he's attractive. I think he's very handsome. And maybe this is just a guy thing, a straight guy thing. And I don't want to put this on all straight guys, because I know there's some out there who aren't like this. But please, if y'all are going to, somebody's going to take this ugly at home. And I'm not trying to be bullyish or ugly. I'm not mean. It's just an observation. But if you're going to be like, you got all this money, y'all spend money on chains, you spend money on cars, clothes, houses, fine dining, all this shit. Invest in yourself, and invest in your health, invest in your skin. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's the Zeus HD cameras that's showing, and I'm not perfect, I'm not trying to be, I got my own little blemishes y'all can see here. But invest in your skin. You can tell this man don't take care of his skin whatsoever. Now, as I've said before, and y'all ask me all the time in my videos, I see all the time, you have glowing skin, I love your skin. This is what I use. This is what I use. It will literally, if you have a zit on your face, which I had one right here a few days ago, I had a zit pop up. Use this, gone. So Blue, if you're watching, Rock, if you're watching, please click the link in the description. I'm going to put the link in the description. Okay? And good skincare ain't cheap, and cheap skincare ain't good. So that's about a $200 device. So if you can afford it and you can invest in your skin, please do it. Please do it, okay? Now, that's my little TED Talk for today. Now, we both see Chrisean and Blue go into a store in New York City that sells and offers these big fur coats, which I was like, those are really nice. When I go back to New York City, I want to check out that store, because those fur coats were so cute. Did y'all think so? I saw some in there. I was like, those are really cute. Now, I really want one. I really want one of those. Now, a faux fur. Let me say that, because I made a note for that. Faux fur. I don't want to wear no real fur, because I love my animals, but... And I'm assuming that these furs were gifted to them, because the dude, did y'all notice how the dude was like, he's like, because you guys are relevant, we chose you because you guys are relevant. He said, for every female that talks about Blueface, we have 5 other females that are talking about Chrisean, which I thought was pretty cool. That's the good thing about being a celebrity, so to speak. You get all this free shit. They just want to see you wear it. They just want to see you photographed in it, and you get it for free. There's no telling how much these damn fur coats cost, right? Now, they're in New York for Fashion Week, and they go to practice for one of these runway shows. They're doing a runway show, and they're doing the practice for it, and we see Blueface. He's walking down the runway, he's pretending as he walks in the runway to, like, talk to the audience. Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? And then he says something like, what's up, shawty? How you doing, little baby girl? Something like that. I don't remember the exact words. And Chrisean gets mad. And I'm like, really? And I'm not talking about just, like, mad, like, really, babe? Why'd you do? I'm talking about, like, she was mad. She was pissed, like, tears in her eyes, mad. And I'm just like, really, babe? Come on now, Chrisean. Come on. Listen, let me say this. For anybody else that's like, if we're walking down the street, if I'm walking down the street with my boyfriend and I notice him looking at somebody else, I'm not going to get upset because he's a human. He's a man with a dick. Even women, even if your woman looks at another man or your woman looks at another woman, why get upset? Regardless, let's just say your partner says, I promise, baby, I'm not going to look at anybody else. I won't look at anybody but you. They're lying to you because we are human. And we're wired that way. That if we see someone sexy or attractive, we're going to look. Actually, I would want my partner to tell me. And I tell my boyfriends this. When I get in a relationship, I tell the guys that I date, look, I'm not one of those people that are going to get mad if you're looking at somebody. Now, don't cheat on me. Don't be texting other bitches or hoes and shit. But if you see another fine dude or even a fine woman, nudge me. Say, babe, look, you think he's cute? Yeah, baby, he's cute. Let's go get his number together, right? It's all about communicating with your partner, finding out what they like, what they want, what they need, and then trying to get on that playing field with them. And if you're not comfortable with that, then talking it out with them, talking it out, not staying in your head, not building up this anger, not saying, what the fuck you looking at that bitch for? You know what I'm saying? Talk it out. Try a different approach. At the end of the day, as I said, we're all human beings. We're all human. You can't put your partner in a box and expect them to be one way or another to pacify your feelings and emotions. You know what I'm saying? If you know you a bad bitch and you know deep in your heart, you know who you are and what you are, you don't have to feel that way. You don't have to have those feelings. But Chrisean comes off as a very insecure female. You can tell that she has probably had a rough childhood and rough upbringing. She's probably been cheated on left and right. I don't know if there's any abuse there or not, but there's obviously a lot of issues that she's dealing with and that she's dealt with over the course of the years, whether it be daddy issues, whatever the case may be. And now she's brought it into this relationship with Blueface, which has resulted in all this toxicity and negativity, the physical abuse, the verbal abuse, all of that. It's just, there's so much going on with this show that we can't, there's so much going on outside of the show that we don't even see. So what we see on TV is just like almost a cluster of what the fuck in my eyes. Now, Chrisean doesn't need to, in my opinion, I know she's entertaining. I get it. I get that she's entertaining, but the homegirl don't need to be on TV. What the homegirl needs is some therapy, some healing. You know, she needs to go on a retreat and do some personal reflection with herself, figure out who she is, figure out her wants, needs, and desires, and get rid of anything around her that is toxic. Honestly. And she was so mad at Blueface in that moment for doing the whole whatever he did that she's like, cut cameras, like we are day one into filming your show and you already want the cameras cut? No. Now, the morning of the fashion show, let's talk about the morning of the fashion show when they're in their hotel room and she climbs under the covers and acts like she's starting to give head. Now, my mama was in the room when I was watching this. My mom was in the room when I was watching this, and she was like, who is this? What is she doing? Oh my God, I don't want to see this, turn it. And my first thought was, you know, Chrisean ain't really giving this man head. But then I had to think about it. I was like, no, she really is giving this boy head under the covers. Because if y'all follow her on Instagram, you know Chrisean has got her pussy ate on live. Chrisean has went live when she was getting dick down. And you see her moan. Like, she's done the most. So I was thinking, why is this any different than when she goes Instagram live and does it? Why would she be under the cover just pretending? I think she was under the cover bobbing and weaving. I really do. I really do. Now, watching them before the fashion show, I think they go do some press. They go do press with different radio stations, different podcasts. You know, they went to see Angela Yee at the lip service. One thing I noticed watching them at the press or whatever is Chrisean doesn't really take things serious. She really doesn't. Like, you're at the highest point of your career. Oh, shit. You're in the highest point of your career. And she just seems to take it as a joke. Did y'all see that? Did y'all, like, anybody else watch that and think that? And I think part of it is that she's so caught up in what Blueface is doing and so worried about who he's looking at and is his phone buzzing over here and, why is the assistant staring? I think she's so worried about those things that she puts her career at the back burner. Because you're at Sirius XM, you're doing these shows, people know your name. For instance, when she was performing at Sirius XM, they gave her the mic and she was just kind of like it looked stupid. She looked stupid. She almost looked a little bit of shy and awkward at the same time. And I get it. You've got people watching you. You're going to be shy and awkward. You know what I'm saying? So I just wish she would have taken it a little bit more serious. Now, I know she was having fun with it. I know she was, having fun with it, but I think she's caught up in what he's doing. And can you smoke anywhere in New York City? Like, just anywhere? I mean, I've been a couple times, and maybe it's because they're a celebrity, but did y'all notice, like, at any, when they were at these different radio stations and stuff like that, they were just smoking freely. Just, like we're not in the building. But I don't know, maybe, like I said, it's because of who they are. Maybe you can pay to get away with these things. I don't know. Now, Angela Yee, which is one of the hosts of The Breakfast Club, and she also has Lip Service on YouTube. Angela Yee asked both of them about their families. And she says, both of your families are concerned. They've expressed their concern about both of you. But neither one of them really seem to care or bothered by it. But what it tells me is that maybe the families are seeing something that we aren't seeing. Yes, we're seeing all the toxicity and the fighting and all that. But like I said, maybe there's more happening behind the scenes that we aren't seeing. Or maybe the families are just like us and they're seeing these different blog posts and headlines and they're worried. They're worried for their son. They're worried for their daughter. I mean, I think if that were my brother or sister or child and I seen the Shade Room, Chrisean punches Blueface out of nowhere at the bowling alley, those different things, I'd be a little concerned too. But they don't seem fazed by it. But that's how it is. Think about it. When you're in a relationship with somebody that you really care about, whether it be toxic or not, and your family and your friends and the outside sources or the outside voices are telling you that, hey, this is not a good look. Hey, you should leave him. Hey, she's a bad person. You don't listen, right? You don't listen. You kind of just retreat back away from them. You don't want to have anything to do with anybody who has anything negative to say about what you really care for and who you really care for. So that's why I think they're just kind of like unfazed by it. But like I said, if we as the public can see the toxicity seeping through the screens, what is the families thinking? What are they thinking? Now, halfway through the episode, we get halfway through the episode, and I noticed one thing. Can y'all guess what that one thing may be? I noticed one thing watching this that they don't do like other reality shows do. That's a very important and intricate part of producing a reality show. There are no confessionals. There are no talking heads. Like what I'm doing right now, talking to y'all, there's none. And I'm like, I was confused at first and I was thinking, okay, maybe we'll get them as the episode goes on. But the episode ended and we never got a confessional, which I'm like, now I'm worried for this show. I really am. I'm still going to give it a chance. But the confessionals are very important because you're getting the cast member, you're getting the person's, reaction and explanation as to what's going on and what we're seeing. If we're seeing this fight play out, if we're seeing whatever XYZ play out, we want to see what the person has to say about it. What was their thought behind it? What was their reasoning? Why was Chrisean acting the way she was? Let's let her talk about it in the confessional. I thought that was weird that Zeus is not including confessionals in the show. Um, and like I said earlier in this video, this show really does have potential to be a hit because so many people have their eyes on Blueface and Chrisean's relationship. Whether you hate them or love them, people do. So the fact that not VH1, that Zeus has this show, y'all can do big things with it. Y'all can reach huge numbers. Y'all can really make money from this. But don't let people fall off the bandwagon like they do with your other shows, like Bobby's show, for instance. We loved it. It was doing great. Once the boys were getting evicted left and right, the show, like I could tell in my viewership when I was doing the review numbers were high during the first half, and then after the first half of the season, they dipped. And that's what I'm afraid of with this show. We're getting, as I was saying earlier, we're getting a lot of random clips of them just walking through the streets, walking through the clubs, them dancing, them kissing, her crying, just random ass clips that is filler. Too much filler, not enough storytelling. The only storytelling that we really got out of this was the fact that Chrisean and her family have some sort of tension or something, right? Which we'll get into that in a second. But can we get one Zeus show without a cameo from Natalie? Please. Like, who is Natalie fucking at Zeus? Oh, wait, we already know. Allegedly, Daryl Farmer. Allegedly. But Natalie, you must got some good lip and coochie because you are on every single show. Did y'all notice? Like, she was in the club, dancing, singing along to Chrisean's song. And I'm just like, God damn, can we get one season with no Natalie? Please. Please. Just one. One. Now, this is where I was talking about the only storytelling that we've got was from Chrisean and her family. So the next scene is in Baltimore, where Chrisean hopes to introduce Blueface to her family. Now, they're in a hotel. Chrisean is drinking Hennessy and Coke. I'm like, this can't be good. She says she's stressed over family and Blueface. And then they head to see her family. They get in a Sprinter van, and Chrisean is talking to her mom on the phone. You can hear her mom saying, which I thought this was very interesting. Her mom said, you know, you're young right now. And when I was your age, it took me a while before I left so-and-so. So I'm sure it's going to take you a while to leave Blueface. So her family obviously does not like this man. They don't want her to be with this man. And apparently her family left before Chrisean even got there to meet up with them. Now, Chrisean is upset. She's crying on the bus, or crying outside the bus. And my first reaction was, you know, what's going on that her family doesn't want to see her? What's going on is it that bad between Blueface and Chrisean that her family wouldn't even show up? But then her mom says on the phone, Chrisean, we've been waiting on you all day. So that shows me that the family did show up, but Chrisean and Blueface have been holding everybody up. And I can see this. I don't know why I can see this. I can see the little bit of fame getting to their head and them thinking, you know what? The party don't start until we walk in. So we're going to take our time. We're going to fuck. We're going to smoke. We're going to drink. We're going to do whatever we want to do until we get ready to start filming. That's what it seems like to me, because her mom said it. Her mom said, look, we've been waiting on you all day. That's why we left. I think her brother or her cousin, someone said, we've got business to take care of, Chrisean. We're behind you 100%, but we've got business to take care of. We can't wait for you all day. Now, they finally meet up with Chrisean's sister the next morning. Rock hugs her sister, and she just starts crying and crying and crying. And I'm like, okay, does she miss her family? What's going on? There's a lot going on here. I don't know. There's just a lot that we're missing. We're not getting any information. This is why a confessional would have been nice from Chrisean saying, example, you know, I walk off the bus, I see my sister, I hug her, and I instantly start crying. I'm crying so hard because, like, we don't know why she was so upset. The sister goes inside the Sprinter van to meet Blueface. And then the sister, she's in the Sprinter van for maybe all a few minutes, says hey to the dude, whatever. And then she just gets off the Sprinter van and leaves. And I'm like, what? What is happening here? Like, this is a hot ass mess. What is happening here? Like, did the family want the sister to leave? What happened? What happened in that moment? Blueface says the family is impatient and they think that the show is supposed to be about them. No, maybe that the family has lives, and maybe, just maybe, the family has jobs they have to go to, and that they're not rich like y'all are, and you know, maybe they couldn't wait on you all day. If you told them 10 o'clock and you showed up, or you told them 10 o'clock and you show up at 3 p.m., I'd have been long gone too. I don't know. Chrisean's issue with them is that they're treating her like a stranger. They're treating her like a stranger. She's screaming, she's crying in the middle of the street in Baltimore. And I'm just like, and this is what we have to look forward to for the next 10 episodes. Y'all can keep this shit. This is why I said I give the episode a 4 out of 10. Because it's just all over the place. We as the viewers don't have a clue what's really going on. And y'all aren't doing a good job of explaining what's really going on. The only thing I took from it was they went to New York Fashion Week. She was going to introduce Blueface to her family. The family was impatient that Blueface and Chrisean didn't show up in time, so they left. And now Rock's upset, throwing a tantrum and crying because they didn't show up, and she thinks they're treating her like a stranger. That's what I got out of the episode. Somebody please let me know I'm not going crazy over here watching this shit. What did y'all think so far? What have y'all think? What have y'all thought about that? Now, after throwing a tantrum, Rock gets in it looked like a production van, or like a van they rented just to get people around. Rock just climbs in the van and takes off, darts off, like at a speed that's a little bit faster than what you should be driving in the city of Baltimore when you got pedestrians walking around and cars everywhere. She just takes off and leaves in the car. And then we get a next on. The episode ends. They leave it at that. And did y'all see on next week's sneak peek where Chrisean she almost hit a man when she pulled off and sped off? She almost hit somebody. There was a man crossing the street. I'm like, girl, you trying to go to jail for manslaughter? You was worried about them coming after you for some weed, but they really gonna be coming after you if you don't slow your ass down a little bit. Now, also, no shade, the premiere was boring as fuck. But I'm gonna give it a chance. And we're gonna give it a chance. We're gonna see what happens, because one of the sneak peeks for next week shows Blueface finally meeting face to face with Chrisean's family. And her dad gets in his face. And he says, you know, don't you ever put your hands on my daughter again. And Blueface says, well, did you teach your daughter to not put your hands on men? And that's all he could say. And Chrisean's daddy punches him straight in the face. All hell breaks loose. Everybody's And that's really the only clip that we get from that scene. Which I thought was interesting. So I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of tension and stuff going on with this family. So maybe with the next few episodes, things are going to get better. I really hope so. Listen, I don't want to do this. I don't want to watch this show. I really don't. I don't want to really review it. But I'm doing it for you guys. I really am. For anybody out there that wants to see the review, I'm doing it. I'm hoping the season gets better. I'm hoping the show gets a little bit more interesting. Maybe it will. There's only one way to find out, and that is to keep watching and keep tuning in. So I will be back next Sunday reviewing episode 2. If you care, we will be talking about it. We will be dissecting it and getting down to the meat of the matter. So I want to know what y'all think. What did you think of the premiere? How would you rate this episode out of 10? How many stars would you get it out of 10 stars if you could rate the first episode? What do you think of Blueface and Chrisean's dynamic? And how do you feel about the show not having confessionals? Is that a big deal to y'all, or do you just simply don't care about the confessionals? I want to hear from you, and I want to hear what you have to say. So don't forget to join the conversation, chime in below, and leave your comments, and I will try to get back to you. Also, subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button right below this video. And last but not least, like the video, because when you like this video, it gets shared throughout YouTube where more people can find us. I appreciate you guys so much. I missed you. Stay tuned for new content. I've got some new stuff that I'm going to be dropping soon. I love you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Damien After Dark. See ya.